Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again, people. It's been a few days. Welcome back, Kata. What's up, everyone? I see you in the damn comment section. How's it going? As you know, I went to the Uncle Tom Part 2 premiere this past Friday in Dallas, Texas. What an event. If you go to my Instagram page, at JG Talk, I posted some pictures. I posted a picture of myself and Larry Elder, OG, triple OG, Larry Elder, the sage of South Central. You also might know him from running against Gavin Bang Your Wife Newsom in the California recall, which I did a video after that. And that was a real kick in the nuts, as a Californian who has half a brain. That was our opportunity to remove that cancer from the body known as California, and we just didn't do it. I'm telling you. There's a lot of dummies here in California. When you get away from the water, people get smarter. But for some reason, those on the coast suck shit, and they didn't allow us to get that turd out of office, which would have been great for California, which is probably why they didn't allow it to happen. But I was talking with him for a few minutes, and he was telling me about his feelings and how the election went and how it was counted, what happened when it was counted, how the voting was stopped early and they didn't count all the absentee ballots. I mean, I'm no voting or political genius or scholar by any means, but I don't think it's over until you count all the votes. I don't care if you're voting for a movie to watch or who to have as your governor or your president. You need to count all of the votes. Am I right? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm merely a publicly educated tax ID number, but I'm pretty sure you have to count all of the votes before you call it. I don't know. Call me crazy. But it was a great experience being around a lot of intelligent people, intelligent, successful people. Hopefully some of that will rub off on me. You know what they say, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. Well, I was laying with some good dogs this weekend. So hopefully I get some of those good fleas, huh? We'll see what happens. That was cool. Got to see my boys, got the Arizona band back together. Last November, I went to Brandon Tatum's book signing in Arizona. And there I met him. I've known him, we corresponded. I've been on his lives, all that shit. We text back and forth. It was the first time I met him, Anthony, Brian, Logan, Oliver, Matt, Craig Long. We all got back together. Shout out to them. Shout out to B. Tatum, ABL, Craig, Oliver, Damani Felder. I met him for the first time. Big fan of his. If you want to see somebody passive aggressively, is that how you say that? He's the king of passive aggressive, piss off the left. His memes are legendary. Damani Felder, at Damani Felder. Chad Jackson, he is the guy who is on the cover of the Uncle Tom 2 DVD that I got. I'll show you that. I'll also read the back of it, give you a quick synopsis of the documentary. Shout out to Larry Elder, of course, Jesse Lee Peterson, Corinne Tatum. She's the one who put the bug in the ear of them to get me invited in the first place. So shout out to you, Mrs. Tatum. Gothics, she's somebody that I follow on YouTube and watch her. Very smart young lady. Got to meet her. Ajua, shout out to Ajua. Look, people, here's the good and bad. Ajua, she ran for office in Texas, didn't get past the primary, but she did it. Shout out to her for that. Also, I was talking to her. She's very active in the Texas voting scene, and right now she's trying to stop Beto O'Rourke from getting elected as governor of Texas. And you might say, how the hell does that like, he looks like Tony Hawk if he got hooked on heroin. I call him Phony Hawk. How could Beto O'Rourke even be close? Why? How could he even be something you worry about when you're talking about the governor of Texas? Well, he's only like 6 points behind. It is a very real possibility that Beto O'Rourke will become governor of Texas. Of course, the incumbent, he's busy running Texas, so he doesn't have time to hit the campaign trail. But she was telling me, she showed me pictures of his events, and there was a line outside of one event around the building, and those were the people who could not get in. Sometimes he's doing 2 rallies a day. Beto O'Rourke is not fucking around. He could become the governor of Texas. You would expect somebody like him to be the governor of California, or maybe the governor of that shit stain up north of here, Oregon or Washington. No, no, no. He could become the governor of Texas. It is a very real possibility. And if Texas falls, Texas, Florida, a lot of southern states, they are beacons of hope for people like me who live in communist states such as California or anywhere on the left coast or the least coast. New York, come on. That's a festering wound. So these 2 bookend dummy states, they're already lost causes. But Texas, Florida, things like that, you are supposed to be an island that we can escape to and still experience some freedom. But if Beto O'Rourke became governor of Texas, you heard what he said. Hell yeah, we want to take your AK-47s and your AR-15s, those big, black, scary AR-15s. Could you imagine? You might not have to. You might not have to have the nightmare of Beto O'Rourke becoming governor of Texas. It might happen. Reggie says, not happening, Jericho. I sure as hell hope you're right, Reggie. I hope you are more right than you've ever been in your life. But seeing the pictures and talking to people on the ground there, it's a possibility. You got to remember, Texas has that California satellite office known as Austin. So you've already been infected. But are you going to cut your foot? You going to cut it off at the foot to save the rest of your state? Or is that shit going to spread? You've already been infected, Texas. You got Austin. It's like California sent one of its cousins to live in Texas. Ooh, this is nice. Somebody get some cowboy boots and a hat. Yeehaw. That's what Austin is. So it's already there. Man, Texas. Don't let us down. These lost states, people here who are smart, we are looking to you. We're looking to you like the rest of the world looks to us. We need you to do well so we can do well. So we have hope. So we can fight this blue bullshit. So we can battle the blue bullshit. Fingers crossed, man. Come on, Texas. Shout out to Carol Swain. She was also in the documentary. Very intelligent woman. And of course, the director, Justin Malone. Shout out to you. Got to speak with him. Got to bend his ear after the event. That was nice. And his girlfriend, Michelle, she's the one who reached out to me and actually coordinated getting me there and getting me on the guest list and shit like that. Shout out to you, Michelle. I really appreciate it. Pleasure speaking with you. Don't forget, mygreengear.com, jerichogreen.net. And today, I'm going to talk about the film. I'm going to try not to give too much of it away because you should see it. It's different than the first one. And some of the things they were teasing in this one, they just gave us a few nuggets. Some of the shit they're teasing in this one, because there's going to be a third, it's going to challenge some things that you thought you knew. There were some things that I just knew for sure. Fire's hot, puppies are cute. This thing was the way it was, but it's not. And I almost felt dumb. I felt taken. I felt had. I felt bamboozled because I believed it. I've been believing this shit all of my life. What I'm going to talk about, I've been believing it my whole life. I never questioned it because all they gave me were the highlights. So I figured that's how it was. It's like Instagram. If you look at some people's page, you think they spend all their time with their toes in the sand, getting one of those copper tone girl suntans on their butt. So I believed it. I was wrong. So I'm going to talk about that. I wrote down a few things here, just little bullet points and notes, stuff I didn't want to forget. One thing we're going to talk about is the T.S.A. I know you thought the S in T.S.A. stood for security, huh? Yeah, we're going to talk about those fuckers too, because I was not impressed. Was not impressed with the T.S. and the A. Reggie, man, looks like it's you, man. Looks like you are the super chat cherry popper. Looks like you've broken that financial hymen. Thanks for being gentle, Reggie. Says, howdy, Jericho. Saw you in the Lone Star State this weekend. Hope you had a good time. Hope the change in time zones didn't throw you off. Pacific time. Yeah, it was cool. It actually helped me because it went on pretty late into the night, but I was 2 hours behind. So everybody else was, they were nodding off and shit. I was ready to go. The humidity was not something I was enjoying. I'm getting used to the hot temperatures. As you know, here where I live, it's hot, but it's not humid. See, humid is different. When you have the door closed in the bathroom and you get out of the shower and you got to go and wipe off the mirror because all the steam, crank that steam up by 1,000%, and that is humidity. I think I was there, and it was about 77, 80% humidity. That's real life. But I did have a good time, Reggie. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. It was fun. I got also, shout out to my brother Joe. I got to meet up with him for a few hours. Of course, he had to work and whatnot, has a family and everything. Shout out to my family out there. The girls, Monica. I got to hang out with him. We had lunch. I think it was called Bailey's barbecue, Bartley's barbecue, some barbecue place. But you go in, you get a tray, and you tell him which one you want, 2 meats, 3 meats, whatever. You get your meat. The old man, nice man, cuts up the meat, gives it to you. Then you move on down the line, and it's, well, what side do y'all want? A lot of y'all. Everything's y'all. Y'all have a good day. What do y'all want? Where y'all going? Y'all. That's when you get your sides, your mac and cheese, your greens, your green beans, your fried okra. And if you don't know what fried okra is, next time you blow your nose, save the snot and fry it. That's okra. I don't care what you say. Okra is disgusting. The inside of okra is like the inside of aloe vera, just slimy and gross. No thanks. But my brother was all about that shit. But it's a very nice place. It's different. You don't have those kind of places out here. Barbecue is not super big like it is in Texas or some other places in the South. Now, you want some Mexican food? Oh, come hither. I'll take you to some really good Mexican food. And there's some decent barbecue joints out here, but it's not, prevalent like it is in Texas. But very good place. Great seeing my brother. Wish I could have spent more time. You guys ever go into town and you're there for like 24 hours and you don't get to spend the time that you want with people? But I'm glad I got what I got. And in the video I did in the airport on the way there, I told you guys that I just got a text message from the airline company telling me that you no longer have a window seat, which you wanted and paid for. You get a middle seat. So I was instantly upset. I get on the plane. I'm about to sit in my seat. I'm telling the person, oh, I'm right there. I'm mad as shit. Then a dude all the way in the back goes, hey, there's a seat right here. Hey, you're my new best friend. He sat in the aisle. I got the window. We had the seat empty between us. Plenty of room. It's beautiful. Same thing on the way back. There was only a girl who sat in the aisle. I got the window. Nobody in the middle. Wonderful. Alien testosterone. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. But it was great. It was just enough time because, when you have a family, you're not around them, you start to miss them. So I was there for like 24 hours. It was cool. Came back home. Went out with the kids. Hung out with the kids. Went out with the wife and some friends to a comedy show. And 2 things about the comedy show. Number 1, there was a dude like 3 hours up, some old man. He was fucked up. He was sitting back in his chair like this, talking and shit all through the show. Security had to come over. Old man was faded. He had to be like 75, 80 years old. He was lit up from the tit up. I don't know what he was drinking, but he had plenty. And then the people sitting right in front of us, because down on like the floor closer to the stage, you have fold-up chairs. And it's fucked up because all the fold-up chairs are connected. So you can't spread them out so you got more room. They're all connected. And then behind you is the bleachers. Well, the row right in front of me were 2 people who, I don't know if they just started dating or maybe they were gone a long time and didn't see each other and just got back together, but they kept kissing. That shit was gross. I mean, come on. Get a fucking room. Nobody wants to hear while they're trying to watch something. Shit was disgusting. Daniel Edmond, thank you for the Hamilton. Says, my favorite show. Hey, man. Hope I don't disappoint. But I'm going off today. I feel re-energized, reinvigorated, reinvented. All the re's, that's what I'm feeling. Because watching that documentary, watching Uncle Tom 2, An American Odyssey, that's the full title, It's the same way you felt as a little kid after you watch a kung fu movie or after you watch wrestling with your brother or something. You want to do that shit. You feel like you can do those moves. So I was feeling pumped up after watching that. Brand new information. Some of the things I already knew reinforced, but my favorite thing about it was I learned a lot. So thank you for those supers. Let's get into it. Good gun. You know how we do. Those of you that are new to this channel, what I like to do every day is start the live stream with a story. I call it Good Gun. It's a story where somebody does a good thing with their gun, because too often we hear gun violence, guns are bad, gun, like gun's the problem. Like the person holding it and wielding it and shooting somebody for no reason. That's not them. It's the gun's fault. Guns are inherently violent. No, they're not. They're tools. So I like to read about stories where good people do good things with their firearms. How about that? So the title of this one is Dad Shoots Teen Suspects Who Tried to Get Into Car with Babies Inside. Uh-oh. You can't do that. Now, if you got a car with babies inside that you made, and you hop in and take them wherever you want, but you're going to hop into somebody else's car with their babies inside? Oh, man, you're going to run in all kinds of problems. You're going to run in all kinds of issues. And if the people there have the weaponry with them, your lead content's going to go through the roof, just like these little bastards. Now, hold on. Where's the rest of the damn story? Here we go. Okay, Dad shoots. I went to a different one, basically, or a different website, but Texas dad shoots would-be thieves trying to steal car with young kids inside. That's a no-go, man. That's a no-go. If it was just a car, he'd probably let that shit go. I'm not trying to get into it or shoot anybody or get shot over an item. But my kids, it's a whole different set of emotions. It says 2 teenagers have been taken to a hospital in Harris County, Texas, after a father of 2 young children pulled his gun on them during an attempted robbery, officials say. Harris County, have you ever watched that show, First 48? Hey, you hear Harris County a lot. Get it together, Harris County. At about midnight, Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez shared on Twitter that a man and his wife were driving home and they were approached by 2 would-be thieves. The 2 alleged thieves tried to open the back door of the car outside the family's home when the father pulled the trigger. Sheriff Gonzalez said an infant child had been seated in the back of the car when the attempted robbery took place. The adult male feared for the safety of his family and fired shots and struck both suspects. The wife was driving and drove away after the shooting to get away from the suspects. So they had a plan. They rehearsed this shit. Babe, I start busting caps, you get them out of here to safety. A video taken by a nearby doorbell camera showed the car pulling up and 4 shots being fired to the rear of the vehicle. The man had fired through the car's rear window to strike the would-be thieves. What sound like cries for help can be heard after the family vehicle speeds off. You think they were related to the, he shot my arm off guy? Remember him? The guys in Southern California who got shot by the 80-year-old store owner who saw them pulling up on the security camera backing an X5 in a handicap spot? That doesn't look weird. Middle of the night, somebody backing up quickly in a handicap spot in an expensive SUV? Just don't make sense. And when he shot him, he said, he shot my arm off. When I did a video on that, when I talked about that in my live, I said that the owner of the store should make that the new sound. You know, boom, boom. When you walk in, it should be, he shot my arm off every time somebody comes to that door. Not only is it funny, but it sends a clear message. Don't fuck around. The teenagers, who were both age 16. Let me ask you something. What were you doing at 16 years old? Were you trying to get into the back of a locked vehicle belonging to somebody else to rob them? Or were you drinking something you weren't supposed to be drinking, or trying to get in the pants of somebody you weren't supposed to be getting in the pants of? Innocent teenager shit. Not trying to rob people in the driveway of their home. Broken homes produce broken people. The teenagers, who were both 16, were injured and taken to the hospital in a private vehicle and arrived in a private vehicle that arrived at the scene shortly after the shoot. Oh, wait. Did you call an Uber? Or did you say, hey, man, if in 5 minutes, be here to pick us up? What private vehicle showed up to take these two shot dummies to the hospital? Their conditions were described as stable, said Mr. Gonzalez. An investigation is ongoing. No names have been released. Fortunately, that took place in a free state. Remember, I just mentioned how important it is for Texas to keep their shit together. That happened in a free state where those people won't be in trouble, because there are some places. Yeah, Reggie, he said they were probably on live. Yeah, they're probably on Facebook Live or Instagram, some shit. Being a cop, being an investigator, a detective, must be easier than it's ever been. Because there has to be a considerable amount of the cases that come across your desk that are solved by you simply going on these dumbasses' Instagrams or Facebooks or Twitters. Because these stupid little sons of bitches are either talking about or filming everything. Don't you guys know that the police have access to this shit too? Do you think it's blocked from their police computers? Or do you think there's some kind of law that protects you to where you can put anything you want on your Instagram and the police can't do nothing? Who told you that? You sound like the jackasses who think, well, no, I don't have to pay taxes because of some bullshit, and then you end up going to jail because there is no way to get around paying your taxes, Wesley Snipes. What did they think? I know damn good and well I wasn't doing no shit like that when I was 16 years old or any other age. These kids are fucking savages. Why would two teenagers be out doing shit like this? Why aren't you trying to bang some girls or something? Or try to get your Twinkie stinky? At 16, my friends are coming up to you. They smell this. Oh, man, what's that? How come you guys weren't doing that? That's how your ass got shot, dummy. You're lucky they didn't kill your ass. Because if you're trying to steal a vehicle with someone's children inside, that's probably what you deserve. Now, those two idiots probably weren't there to take their kids, but that's not the father's problem. It's not his duty to dissect your plan and figure out what you're trying to do. Nah, babe, let them take them. They don't really want the kids. They just want the vehicle. Let's detach the car seats and give it up. No, hell no. I don't know what you little bastards are going to do. You have no respect for life. And that, people, was good gun. Now, before we get into this, before we get in that ass like a bike with no seat, this live stream is brought to you by Boomer Boost. Boomer Boost is a complete, comprehensive, all-in-one powerhouse nutritional supplement designed specifically to boost energy naturally and support vital body functions, including heart health, circulation, muscle function, healthy bones, and vision. Boomer Boost is really easy to use. It comes in a powder form. Just add water. It has a great taste. It only takes a minute to mix up in the morning, and it has great nutrition for you that will last the whole day. Go to boomerboost.com by clicking the link in the description box and use promo code Jericho, all caps, to receive $5 off your first order. Boomer Boost contains all of the essential building blocks of life. There are 70 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that make up Boomer Boost. This specifically developed formula contains all of the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Also, the microvitamins, minerals, coenzymes, and especially the nutrients, supplying complete daily nutrition in one easy drink. Go to boomerboost.com by clicking the link in the description box. Once again, Jericho is the promo code, all caps, for $5 off that first order. People, hydrate. Speaking of hydrate, new mouth. So this weekend, Labor Day weekend, everybody gets a 3-day weekend. Hopefully you do. What up, Sky? Shout out to Sky. Let me tell you about Sky. She is Brandon Tatum's manager, his right hand. And when I saw her, I said, Sky, do you ever stop working? Emails, phone calls, coordinating. She does it all. Very smart, intelligent young lady. It was a pleasure to see her again and chop it up with her for a few minutes. What up, Sky? But this weekend, Labor Day, and it's going to be hot as shit. Okay, this Saturday is supposed to be 108, and Sunday is supposed to be 111. Why? Give me a good reason why. Devil, stop spreading your cheeks over my town. It's too damn hot. What am I supposed to do with 111 degrees? Go outside? Damn it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll be here with my son. My wife's going to be out of town. So what's my son going to be doing? Dad, I'm bored. Where are we going? What are we going to do? Why do kids have to have every moment of their life jam-packed with activity and excitement? Because that's what my son does. Dad, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? I don't know. Sky says, glad to hear, Jericho. Been waiting for this stream all weekend. Well, I won't disappoint, Sky. I shan't. Is that a word? I shan't disappoint you. So I did my shout outs. So some of the things that stuck out to me with the documentary. Well, first, let me read the back. Here's the cover here. Got a free copy. That guy on the cover, that's Chad Jackson. I guess you call him the main character. Very intelligent man, married for, I asked him, I said, because he owns a plumbing business. And I asked him, I said, Chad, how do you balance filming this and running your business? And, he was putting out a lot of fires. He said text messages back and forth from customers because he had to pull himself away from that to dedicate his attention to this. And it shows. And I asked him, I said, do you have kids? He's like, yeah, I have 4. Dang. A couple more. Don't you got a baseball team or a basketball team? But yeah, he did a great job. Very intelligent man. And it says, Uncle Tom 2 is an odyssey depicting the gradual demoralization of America through Marxist infiltration of its institutions. The film explores how this deceptive ideology has torn apart the fabric of society while using Black America as its #1 tool for its destruction. From executive producer Larry Elder and director Justin Malone comes the continuation of their highly acclaimed film, Uncle Tom, which came out in 2020. Uncle Tom 2 will take the audience deeper into America's often eradicated history of honorable men, entrepreneurship, prosperity, faith, and patriotism to its current perceived state of anger, discontent, and victimhood. Does that sound familiar? Uncle Tom 2 unveils the Marxist strategy of creating false racial tension between Americans, with its ultimate goal of obtaining power, destroying capitalism, and replacing God with government. Not nairn word of that is untrue. That's exactly what we're dealing with now. That basically held up a mirror to our society. Everything in that paragraph that I read is exactly what we're dealing with now. This is communism by 1,000 cuts. We didn't notice it till now. It's been going on for a long time, but we just didn't notice it till now. Now we've bled a lot. Now we're starting to get lightheaded. Like, shit, I didn't realize I was cut that much. Remember what I said about America last week? America was fine. America was voluptuous. Large bust, small waist, a fat ass. America was fine. Now what do we turn her into? This coughing, emaciated, lesion-covered crack whore. That's America now. She can be fixed. She can be restored. We need to send her ass to rehab, but we can get her back. But first, we have to realize what's the problem? How do we get here? And in this documentary, it tells you. Some of the images, I found myself looking at some of that shit just going, damn. And it's not the first time you've seen it. but it's like the first time you saw it. It's just as visceral. Hold on, let me get to these super dupers. And then we shall dive right into it. We shall Greg Louganis this shit and dive into it. Minus the AIDS, though. Nobody, we don't have AIDS. Remember that shit? When he hit his head on the pool and everybody freaked out? I mean, it's not funny that he hit his head on the pool, but that was back before we knew what we know about AIDS, and everybody's like, oh, shit. Everybody in the water got it. Take me back early 90s, late 80s, please. Shit. But even then, way before then, even before the 80s and 90s, they were implementing this shit. We're just seeing the effects of it now. Ranson Shan, thank you. It says, glad you had fun at the premiere. I saw the picture of you and Larry Elder, and without your hat, it looks like your iconic beard is 50% of your face. Say 30%. That's what people were telling me too. Like, oh man, I didn't even recognize you without your hat and your glasses. It's me. I clean up pretty good. I do all right. Heidi Booth, thank you. JG, can you please sing us a song in Biden's voice? I need a good laugh. I actually wasn't going to talk about that mush mouth ding dong today, but why not? Let me see. Okay. Hey, this isn't the mall. Living in America, eye to eye. Hey, what's that? I smell that. A 7-year-old, approximately 175 yards away, due east. You know he loves young follicles. He loves that shit. He feels a way about a young person's hair that Kamala Harris feels about an old man's pubic hairs. They can't help themselves. It's like catnip. You ever see a cat? You ever give a cat catnip? That's how Biden is be rolling around in it and shit. More, give me more, younger, please. Spunberry 65. Thank you for the Hamilton. Says Jericho, at least with the heat, you have nobody will be in your truck waiting to kill you. Cheer up. Are there people in my truck waiting to kill me? All right, now that I know that, I'll be ready. I'll check my back seat. I'll check the back seat next time. Yeah, that humidity was, and people from Texas like, oh shit, Jericho, that wasn't nothing. Well, I'm not acclimated to that kind of fucking steam. That's what it felt like. Oh, my daughter calling me. This ought to be good. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, I don't know. I'm doing my live, honey. You got to talk to your mom, okay? All right. Love you. Bye. Hi, Daddy. I'm out of school. Yeah, I figured because you're calling me. Because I told her yesterday I would take her and her friend to get these smoothies down the street. I just wanted to know what time are you going to take us to go get them? Can't help you, honey. I'm doing my live. Okay. Love you. Bye. Oh, it's my girl. Sorry, guys. It's dusty in here. That's all. I wasn't going to cry. My baby. Sorry. Guys, you know I get dusty. That's all. Dust. Anyway. So, here we go. So some of the things, well, first of all, on my way there, the T.S.A. T.S.A. stands for Transportation Safety Agency, right? Okay. While I was transporting myself, I did not feel safe. Okay. Call me crazy. Call me old-fashioned. But when I see people in uniform, I expect a certain body type, right? If you see somebody in uniform, you expect, or Navy, Army, Marines, you expect a certain body type. Police uniform, firefighting uniform, or the T.S.A. I did not feel safe at all. I did not feel protected at all. If another 9/11 were to kick off, I don't see how they're going to stop it. And I was thinking, if something happens in the airport, who is going to come? Because these fucking clowns, these dummies aren't going to do anything. Is there a security force in the airport hiding behind the scenes that we don't see? Because the travel security agency, they're not going to do shit. I saw old people. I saw fat people. I saw some non-binary people. That doesn't echo security to me. Oh man, hold up. Shout out to my man, David Brohawk Williams. He is one of the smart ones who left that DC machine, as in DC Comics. Supremely talented individual. I was reading, let's see, the red one, the Bass Reeves. I was reading that one on the airplane on my way to Texas. Mr. David Brohawk Williams. What up, man? Good to see you. I did not feel secure in the least. I don't know how these people are going to stop another 9/11. I really don't. Can I see your boarding pass, please? Beep. Have a good one. Can I see your ID, please? Beep. Have a good... What? Man, first of all, why are you sitting down? Stand your ass up. You're wearing a uniform. Shoes aren't shined. Hair's all fucked up. Now, if you have a uniform, that's supposed to come along with certain criteria, certain uniform requirements. Shaved face, manicured hair, look clean, presentable. I don't know the P word, professional. Now, I'm not saying they got to be a bunch of muscle-bound giants, but come on. Can they at least be in shape? I remember seeing some video. You ever see these videos of asshole cops who get called out, people who know their rights and set these fools straight? I love those videos. This cop must have been 400 pounds. What are you going to do? If a suspect decides to get active and they want to juke you and run, what are you going to do? Fall and sweat? That's all you're going to do. You serve no purpose whatsoever. What the? T.S.A.? Why? We could have had, there was a hospital near where I used to live. It's called CHOMP, Community Hospital of the Monterey Peninsula. If you're from there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm about to say is true. When you go in there to the desk to find out where the person is that you're going to visit, they have these people called candy stripers, and they're these old people who volunteer. Oh, who are you looking for, dear? Oh, yes, she's down the hall there. You go down and you take a ride. I'll just show you. And then you walk down the hall with them, and they regale you with stories of prohibition. They would have done a better job. They could have done everything that the T.S.A. does, but way nicer. Way nicer. Wouldn't you like to have a grandma get you through security? Oh, give me your boarding pass. You remind me of my grandson. Instead of some attitude from this out-of-shape fool who ain't going to stop nothing. They could have had some damn candy stripers in there. Give me some Girl Scouts, some Boy Scouts, some Sea Cadets, or the junior police force. They would have done just as good, if not a better job, than these fools. Man, I was like, you got me taking my shoes off, going through full body scanners for what? What are you going to do? Man, disband the T.S.A. right now. The T.S.A. needs to be in the same place as the NAACP. You are no longer necessary. You had a job, you had a purpose at one time, but not anymore. Get rid of the T.S.A. I don't want to hear the Transportation Security Agency talking about what they did this weekend with each other and who they don't like in the break room. What? You're supposed to be in charge of my safety. And you're talking about drinking White Claw? Man, get out of here with that shit. What a disappointment. No more T.S.A. I don't know what they're there for. If you're wearing a uniform, I expect a certain level of appearance and professionalism. If you're not going to do that, don't wear a uniform. Just put your hair up in a bun, put some pajama pants and Ugg boots on, and come to work, because that's basically what you're doing. Man, I couldn't believe that shit. T.S.A. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'll take on my own security, T.S.A. Just take out the S. Just be T.N.A. That's it. Lord German Husbando, thank you. Hey, Jericho. Could you say integrity, drunk Nancy Pelosi voice for my mom? She got stuck on hold to cancel a doctor's appointment and no one picked up before closing. So I figure she needs a good laugh. Yeah, last week, Nancy Pelosi was talking about integrity, and I was like, if you can say the word integrity, we'll believe you. So here's my impression of Nancy Pelosi trying to say integrity. Okay, let me get in character. Oh, drunk old harpy, decades in my job, haven't done shit. My husband's a drunk piece of shit, and I get him off the hook. Here we go. And I pull my big liver spotted titties out in Italy. Oh, in character. I'm gonna say it. Integral. No, can't do it, Nancy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nancy. You can't. Man, Nancy Pelosi. I don't blame her husband for getting drunk, because how else would you deal with her? The vodka vixen, Popov Pelosi. But you can't hop behind the wheel, Paul. That's a no-go. I know Nancy wasn't home, so you didn't have to hang upside down in her veiny wings and sleep on the ceiling, but you can't do that. Chad O. Jackson, thank you. People, this isn't just any Chad O. Jackson. That's this man right here. Chad O. Jackson from Uncle Tom 2, An American Odyssey, and of course, the first one. He says, thanks for coming out to Dallas, JG. I need to call you and get you in part 3. Yes, you do, Chad. I would be honored to be a part of something so amazing. And like I told you guys, there are little nuggets they're teasing us with at the end of the second one that kind of set up the third one. You're not ready. Society is not ready to see number 3. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. You see it? You saw it here first, people. I need to call you to get you in part 3, Chad. I'm right here. You put up the Uncle Tom signal, I'll be right there. Shoot me an email, jerichogreen2018@gmail.com, if you would. I made it, Mom. I made it. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it, man. I meant everything that I said. Very intelligent, awesome documentary, family man, all the things. One of the things they don't want us to be is want us to have is a strong family unit. But Chad didn't get the memo. He has one, and I'm very happy. Thank you. Spunbearing65, thank you for the Hamilton. He says the next Biden appointee will be dressed as Chota Boy. Who's Chota Boy? Is it like the guy who's like the energy secretary or something? He looks like a bald-headed Matt Damon who's dressed like a woman. Oh my goodness. How do you have these people out here representing us? The Rachel Levines and whatever that little weirdo is that I just named. Oh, okay, like chode. All right, I know what that is. That's an old school word right there. Whatever the next appointee is, it'll be fucking weird. I promise you that. It'll be strange and weird and uncomfortable. Rachel Levine? Why do they always look like shit? Why do these Ku Klux trans members always look like shit? No effort. All you did was grow your hair out and put some old lady's clothes on. You look terrible, sir. It's ma'am. Ugh. Ugh. And somehow, if you're a straight guy and you don't want to date that, you're some kind of phobe. Call me all the phobes you want. That is absolutely disgusting. Ew. All right, guys. Let me hydrate in this bitch. Uncle Tom 2, An American Odyssey. What a great film that was. Just coming in at just under 2 hours. You ever see something and every scene is just a home run. Every single one. All the voiceovers, the interviews, the footage. Let's talk about the footage first. Because a lot of the footage from this were old pictures of Black people being prosperous, happy, successful, Black families. Everybody was in suits. Everybody dressed nice and respectful, had dignity, pride, hats, ties, dresses. Women were women. Imagine that. If that was back when only women can do certain things and only men could do certain things, and everybody was okay with that, and everybody flourished under those conditions. We didn't blur the lines and no, chest feeder and birthing person and all this weird shit. No, you can go pee in there and take a shower in there. Yeah, women, they can do everything. They're just as strong as men are. They can go play sports. And the men, why don't they go play with the ladies and change with them in the locker room? Not just play with them on the field. No, we're going to get naked together. But when you show people, and you understand why, you've seen the condition that we're in now, because expectations are everything. And when you show people that they were once great, that they come from greatness and they come from prosperity, well, then you're going to expect that from them, right? You're going to expect them to be great. You're going to expect them to have a nuclear family. You're going to expect them to be prosperous people. And those images were juxtaposed with footage of what is called Black culture today. The foul mouths, the violence, the drug use, the dilapidated neighborhoods. Some of those neighborhoods look like the garbage trucks gather garbage from better neighborhoods and then come over to the bad neighborhoods and dump it in the street. Garbage, filth. What comes with garbage and filth? Vermin, disease. So I guess when the orange man called Baltimore a rat-infested shithole, I guess he wasn't too far off the mark. Because if you have all these piles of garbage outside, that's going to attract vermin, rodents, roaches, things of that nature. But somehow it's not their fault. It's the sweet and sour sniffles, or it's a white man or some shit. Some white man that lives out of state or across town. But somehow from there, he puts his boot on your neck. So if you tell a group of people that you were never shit, you didn't come from shit, you've always been controlled, you've always been held down, you've never been anything, and you never can be, well, they're going to start believing it. And even worse, not only are they going to believe it, they're going to make sure that other members of that group believe it too. And if you try to be anything different, they're going to beat that out of you. They're going to browbeat you and verbally assault you until you change your mind. So they have to hide these images of successful Black people, these successful Black towns, entire towns. Well, who's going to do the work? Are they going to come from the southern border and take our jobs? They took our jobs. No, you're going to do those jobs yourself. And no matter what it is, teaching, running a store, cutting hair, collecting garbage, mechanics, glass, contractors like Chad, plumbing. Everybody in that town, it was self-sufficient. It took care of itself. Everybody had a job. Everybody did something and contributed to that society. Everybody looked out for each other. Everybody held everybody else to a higher standard. Your appearance, the way you act. Black kids were going to summer camps, church camps. I remember as a kid, Bible study on Wednesday night, choir practice on Friday night. It even said in the documentary, even if you couldn't sing, your ass was in the youth choir. That's the truth. I lived that. Sunday, sometimes on Sunday, you had two services. You had morning service. Then if it was a revival or something, you had other churches coming, or evening service. You stayed in church from 9 o'clock in the morning to like 2 in the afternoon, go home, wardrobe change, and you're back by 5:30. But if you hide those images from people, they'll never know any better. Like when you're a kid, you might live a certain way in your home and you didn't know anything was wrong until you went elsewhere. So when you hide those images from people, they start to believe they can never be shit. But when you see these images and you read the real history, see, I don't have a problem with the real history of America. Tell all of it. We need to know all of it. Knowledge is power. But in all of it, that also means Show me the greatness that my people were part of. Show me the wonderful things we did for this country, in this country. Because if you come from that, then that's what I expect from the future. What do you think happened to Michael Jordan's son when he stepped on the court with a basketball? You think they looked at him like everybody else and just said, hey, give it your best shot, buddy? Or did he show up on that court with expectations? I expect you to be windmill dunking, tongue out from day one. Why? Because that's what you come from. I see what you came from. You came from the greatest basketball player ever. So that's what I expect from you. I've seen it. I know you're capable of it. I tell my kids when they do something, I tell them, now I know you're capable. Now I expect nothing less. I've seen you do it. Now I expect that from you. But if you expect greatness from somebody, that means they have to do, what's that word? It's a 4-letter word, ends with a K. No, not that word. Don't be pled. All right? Not this time. Work. You're going to have to work hard because that's what I expect from you. And so one of the things that they talked about was Black Wall Street. If you haven't heard of this, it was in 1921. It was the Tulsa Race Riots, where allegedly 300 Black people were killed by white people, racist white people that were supposedly jealous of their success. This town, again, everything was Black owned. All the businesses, people walking around with money. You think Black folks just started getting rich when the NFL came around or some rap contracts? There were wealthy Black folks, and they looked like it. Fancy clothes, cars, homes, success, showing all the... See, when you hear some poor kid in the hood talking about how they grew up, take one of these rappers or any gangbanger. I saw these gangbangers out here with the money and the women and the cars, and I wanted that. Isn't that what they always say? I wanted that. So, same thing has to apply with success. If you surround these kids with success, they're going to see it. Man, I want that. I want that house. I want that car. I want those clothes. I want that lifestyle. How do I get it? Selling dope? No. That man's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. He invented something. Okay, well, then that's what I need to do to get that. Not sell dope, gangbang, steal, hit licks. That's not how you get that, but that's what these kids are shown. And seeing all these images of successful, happy Black people. There was a lot of home videos, old pictures. And they always say, and they even showed a clip of it in the movie, but you'll hear people say, man, if it wasn't for the Tulsa massacre, we would have had generational wealth. If it wasn't for that one thing, we would be doing all right. If they didn't destroy that one city and destroy that one Black Wall Street, Black people would be shitting in tall cotton. We'd be up there with the white folks, clinking champagne plumes together and drinking with our pinky out and laughing like, mew, 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 mew. Right? If it wasn't for that one incident. Well, guys, turns out that they did rebuild Black Wall Street. They did rise from the ashes like a phoenix from the Tulsa massacre. They did rebuild it. They did it within 4 years. You know how I know? It's not because Chad or somebody else got up there and told me. They didn't get up there and say, I think, or I assume they had it rebuilt by 1925. No, they showed proof. There was a big ass sign that said April 12th or some April something 1925. They did rebuild it. They did. Then they showed footage from 1940. That lets you know that it stayed that way. The evil white people didn't come in there right after and say, dang it, boy, you rebuilt it again. Tear it down. No, they rebuilt it and it stayed that way for a long time. Look at it now. overgrown, fucked up. So now what's the excuse? Now you find out they did rebuild it. What's our excuse now? Yeah, that's what I thought. Man, blew my mind. And it made me mad at myself because I never looked past that. I never thought to look. Did they rebuild Black Wall Street? And not that I believe the part where, if only that had been rebuilt, we'd be successful. I don't believe that shit. But I never thought to look it up. Did they rebuild it? I'll be damned. They sure did. Just as good, if not better than it was before. There were a few moments in that documentary I was like, what? They sure did. So, and even saying that when they say it didn't get rebuilt, what are you saying about black folks? We just didn't have it in us? Man, I built success one time. I'm not willing to do it again. That's insulting. They sure did. And there's been no actual proof of how many people were killed. They say 300, but who's they? They rebuilt Black Wall Street. They got it back. People who are successful like that, you're not going to keep them down. If people get knocked down once and quit, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we enjoy today. There have been plenty of things that everybody has in their cabinet, and the man who started it got beat down a bunch of times. Didn't Hershey get turned down 102 times? Did you know Kiko Man, the soy sauce? They started that company in 1946. Kiko Man is a Japanese company that wanted to start selling shit in America the year after World War II. And guess what? You go into an Asian restaurant right now, what's sitting on the table? Kiko Man soy sauce. You get takeout from any Asian restaurant, what's going to be in the bottom of your bag? Too many damn packets of Kiko Man soy sauce. They started that company in 1946, hot off of World War II. So people like that don't get knocked down once and stay down. You better believe those people got their ass right back up and rebuilt it in the face of all of those racist white people. So what is the excuse now? Because if you come from greatness, that's what I expect. Because I've seen your bloodline accomplish it before. So why can't you? But being a victim? Oh, shit, man, that's hard to break away from. You ever been in wintertime? Cold as shit, isn't it? But you got to pee. You laying in bed, you got that heating blanket on, it's so damn warm, you don't even want to stick a toe out there. It's cold. It's nice and warm in here. Oh, I'll just lay here. I'll get a bladder infection. I don't want to get up and pee. It's so comfortable. That's a lot to ask of people to break out of that, but it needs to be done. Because look where we are now. Some of the images they showed in that documentary, I was embarrassed to watch in front of white people. That kind of shit. Nigga this and nigga that. Oh, fucked up, violent neighborhoods. Airbrush t-shirts. Lil so-and-so, rest in power. Man, them phrases, rest in power, yas queen, them phrases piss me off. We came from that to this. My dad would call that going from sugar to shit. We had the success. They had it to where, you always hear about redlining. Oh, they wouldn't let black people buy houses in certain areas. Well, guess what? If you have your own, you don't need to. Why don't you go to the black-owned bank? See if their black ass will give you a black ass a loan. Huh? They probably won't if your credit score is not good enough. Because it's called a business. It's not called racism. It's called business. If I can get my money back and then some from you, I don't give a damn what you look like. And it talked about also when you hearken back to those times, Jim Crow. What did Bidenist perverted say? We're in Jim Crow 2.0. Man, shut your dumb ass up. I think, I've said this before, I said this a long time ago. I think the civil rights movement was a mistake because we were doing better before the civil rights movement. It's one thing to tell people, you can't come here. That's not right. I pay taxes in this whole country. I'll go wherever I want. Thank you very much. But it's another thing to say, you have to let these people come here. If you want to come, fine. But to make people allow others to come in, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Because whenever the government gets involved, shit gets messed up. And who did that? The government. What was his name? LBJ. Lyndon Baines Johnson. He said, I'll have these niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And that's the man who was pushing it. He signed it. The government getting involved is horrible. And I mean anything. It sounds good. Civil rights. Let them go here. Let them go there. That sounds good. Feels good. No, leave people alone. Let the free market decide. Okay? We were doing better before government intervention. We were doing better as slaves. Oh, I know. What a sellout. What a coon. What an Uncle Tom. What a bootlicker. Fuck you. It's called the truth. But again, if you have great expectations for people, they have to adhere to it. Some people don't want to do that. They want to take the path of least resistance. They want to take the path of EBT. No thanks. We were doing better before that. I've mentioned before, my mom traced our lineage back to the early 1800s, and my family had their freedom by 1812, 50 years before the Civil War. So don't tell me we were a bunch of hapless kunta kintes who just couldn't get it right because we couldn't get the man's boot off our neck. My family figured it out. 1812. People, there were black slave owners. Oh, shit. They don't want to tell you that. They want to tell you that the white man, every white person in America owned a Negro. When you turned 18, you had to sign up for the draft and they gave you a black person. Wrong. Black people owned slaves too. Indians owned slaves too. It wasn't just the blue-eyed devil. There were some brown-eyed devils too. But they can't tell you that. If they tell you you're up here with everybody else, then you got to start acting like it. And there's no room for victimhood up here. There's no room for blaming on the white man up here. There's no room for unarmed black people getting shot up here. There's no room for I can't go for a jog or I get killed up here. All we got up here is work and prosperity and success. That's all we got. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that somebody can come over here from 5,000 miles away with a fucking knapsack and in 2 years I'm walking into their business. I'm going into their business for commerce. I'm buying shit from them. How'd they figure it out? You got here 20 minutes ago. I've been here 400 years. Why are you ahead of me? Is it the country or is it the individual? Expectations are everything. I always tell my kids, do your best. Where you land is where you land. But I expect you to give it your best. And I'll get your best. That's my job, to make sure that my kids do their best. Not make excuses for them. Ain't your fault. It's the man. Dad, why are you mad? Because the man. No, don't tell me shit. Don't nobody run nothing but me. I don't see no white man on my house, on my mortgage payment. Where's the white man on my cell phone bill? Where's the white man for my car note? They seem to be involved in every other facet of our life. Why don't you get that white man and start paying for some shit? It don't work that way. I'm in charge. It's me. I've already been a child. I've already had someone else take care of me. I've already had someone else be responsible for me. I'm good. But those images were so damn powerful. It's not like you've never seen them before. But you have to see them in this kind of context. Like, oh shit, everybody needs to see this movie. It's good for everybody. Because it's about everybody. Because we're all living in this shit right now. We're all affected by it. So it's for all of us. That movie was awesome. I told my neighbor I'd let him borrow my DVD, but then I got to give it to my mom. So Rob, make sure you give it back and send it to my mom. My mom was so happy. I told Larry Elder when I met him, I said, man, I got to take this picture. My mom will kill me if I don't get a picture with you. She's a very big fan of Larry Elder. So I did that. Very nice man. He was talking to me about the election, how they stopped counting early, how he lost by 24 percentage points. And he was saying that it was disheartening. Made you not want to do it again. But I hope he's not done. I really do. I hope he runs again. And I hope California, I mean, it's a tall order. It really is, because California is just drowning in jackasses, drowning in liberal turds. And as bad as this state gets, they just don't seem to learn. And I think it's the people on the coast. Most of the people where I live, inland, these people work. They ain't for that bullshit. They just want the best. But you get to the coast, the LAs, the San Franciscos, oh man, come on. Gross. Boomer Boost. Boomer Boost is a complete, comprehensive, all-in-one powerhouse nutritional supplement designed specifically to boost energy naturally and support vital body functions, including heart health, circulation, muscle function, healthy bones, and vision. Boomer Boost is really easy to use. It comes in a powder form. Just add it to water. It tastes great, and it takes a minute to mix up in the morning, and it's great nutrition for you that will last the whole day. Go to boomerboost.com by clicking the link in the description box below and use promo code Jericho, all caps, to get $5 off your first damn purchase. Set Zebra, great question. They say, who voted for them? Lots of dummies. If you Google a picture of Women's March in California, it'll blow your mind. There's 300,000 idiots in the streets marching for nothing. So there's plenty of dummies here. There's plenty of people willing to shit in the punch bowl and ruin it for everybody. Man, I mean, unless you're here, unless you've experienced something, a recall failure like that, in that kind of situation, it really hurt, man. I was like, we got a chance to get Newsom out of here? We got enough signatures to get that piece, the biggest piece of shit in California. The biggest one. Bigger than these sorry-ass DAs. Bigger than some of these garbage-ass mayors. The biggest fish in the state. We got a chance to expel that dummy and replace him with Larry Elder. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. Son of a bitch. So I hope he runs again, man. We could really use him. I hope he doesn't give up. Spunbearing65, thank you for the Hamilton. He says, correction to my earlier, Biden's next appointment will be the other guy from Mr. Hand's last video. Bro, could you, I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. That kind of cabinet, like, what are you doing, man? You can't give a shit about our world image and do something like that. You can't give a shit about us and do something like that. What have these people done? What does Rachel Levine do? And how do they expect you to sit there in an office with her and not bust out with laughter when you look at her? You look ridiculous. If this is not October 31st, take that shit off. Go put on a suit. Stephen Ayers, thank you. Only way Dems can keep power, Jericho. Nothing new. I know. We all got to see it last time, didn't we? We all got to see it on a national damn stage. That was horrible. How you go to sleep winning and wake up like, wait, what? Who? What? Yeah. 2,000 mules. Reggie, thank you again. Black people used to vote Republican until the 50s. That's right. There was never a switch. That's bullshit. It's never a switch. Democrats have always been Democrats. The first black politicians were Republican. Wonder why? You think those black folks were dumb? They didn't know? They had Stockholm syndrome? No, they knew. They knew the party that was for them, and they knew the party that was against them. And guess what? Nothing's changed. Max Bang, thank you for the Hamilton. Just because we love you, JG, pray for the Navy ships in Taiwan Straits. Yeah, I heard about that. Definitely. I hope they're all right. But I've said before, I don't believe there's a military on the planet that could fuck with us. Military to military, I'm not talking insurgents, guerrilla warfare. Like China, a world power who has a substantial military. You put you line up your military across from ours before we are suffocated and taken over by this woke bullshit. We'll kick your ass for sure. We'll beat the shit out of China. Oh, you think so, America? You bring your ships into my water? Yeah, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bitch? They were talking tough when David Lopan went over there. But, she has to go and check on her business. Again, Max Bang, thank you for another Hamilton. When I came on YouTube looking for conservative voices, JG, BCP, Black Conservative Perspective, Tatum, and Megan McGlover, that's my girl. I wish she was there this weekend, were the first to pop up. I'm a white man in my 60s. I'm blessed to listen to all of my favorites. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And that's good company. I've been on a live with BCP before. I don't really know him. I haven't met him, but B. Tatum, it's my boy, Megan McGlover. I got to meet her last November when she came down to B. Tatum's book signing. She's hilarious and intelligent. If you like those two things, check her out, please. She's the kind of woman that I want my daughter to be around. An intelligent woman who has her shit together, and like that's the kind of role models you need for young girls. And I don't believe like sports athletes should be role models. I believe good people should be role models, whether that person is in your home or somewhere else. Good people should be your role model. And she's awesome. Oh, Max Bang, was that supposed to be mom? She's a mom, not a man. Mom. But yeah, Megan, she's great. And it was great seeing B. Tatum too. It was like, you got people, you don't see them for a while and you get back together. It's like you never missed a beat. That's how it is. DMW 247 TV, excuse me, says all the low info Dems really believe there was a switch. There wasn't. That's bullshit. That's something, when you watch this movie, some of the things you learn, you're like, that's not true. That was bullshit. Yeah, that exactly. There was never a switch. Never. The Democrats have always been horrible. Always. Hydrate. Another thing that was covered in the movie was Marxism, communism, socialism. It all equals death. There were videos. Rachel S., you're right. Subscribe, hit that bell, because every time you hit that notification bell, a piece of shit lefty cries. There were images of, Stalin, Mao, all the classics. And the dissenters, those who did not believe in the message, or those who they found to be less than, hands bound, shot, fall into a ditch, lined up against a wall, shot. What they don't tell you about communism and socialism and all that shit, Marxism, that leads to death. And do you think the rich politicians, the crooked ones, you think they're the ones who die? You think they go, I failed you? No, they shoot you. They line your family up. They bind your hands behind your back and they shoot you. They come along and they haven't changed anything. Why? Why change something if it works? They haven't changed anything. You'll have a people who are doing fine. And here comes that Marxism, that communism, that socialism whispering in your ear. They're oppressing you. You could be doing better, but they're oppressing you. Well, how? I got a family. I'm successful. I got money. I can raise my family off of one income. What do you mean? No, they're oppressing you. The powers that be. You're a victim. Maybe I am being oppressed. Maybe I am a victim. And they get you all riled up against the machine. Power to the people, right? You get all riled up against the machine. Get them out of there. They're like communists and socialists, the Fidel Castros of the world. Yes, Lord German Husbando, 2 words, mass graves filled with tens of millions of people who are prosperous and happy at one point. See, the Fidel Castros of the world, they're like the kid in your school who's running for class president in like junior high. I promise if you make me class president, I will have Hawaiian punch flowing from the water fountains. We will have pizza every day and 2-hour lunches. Oh, shit, that sounds good. Yes. I want free-flowing Hawaiian punch. I love pizza, 2-hour lunches, and no more homework. Oh, shit, we got to vote for this guy. Because your childish mind would vote for that. That sounds great. But when you get rid of those powers that be, the ones that were oppressing you, and they get to take over, you don't know oppression until they get in there. Because now they're in charge. And now shit's going to be the way they want it, or you're going to die. But the Hawaiian punch, no homework. What about the pizza? I got your pizza right here. Boom. One of those German Lugers, the famous Nazi pistol, 9mm pistol. You know it. Had the weird long barrel and shit and the funny handle. I got your no homework right here. Hey, why are you putting my hands behind my back? Wait, what's that? What's that ditch down there? Boom, you're fucking dead. Because now this new one, this Castro that you've voted in there who took power, who stole power, they're your worst nightmare. You don't know shit about oppression until they get in there. But everything they told you was so great. Remember how your life used to be? Before you were wearing government issue everything and eating government food and being inside by 9 p.m. and all the Constantine wire around and watchtowers and armed guards making sure that you stay in line? You fucking idiots. And people are ushering this shit in. And another thing, there was a clip in there where they had this former Russian KGB officer. And I think if memory serves correct, somebody told me that he died after saying what he said. Oh, so weird. But he's talking about how this has been Russia's plan forever to tear down America from the inside. It's the only way you can bring down something so big and so powerful, from the inside. And they've been doing it for years, and now it's working. And it just has a different feel to it when you hear it coming from someone outside of your country. To hear that you're being beaten, they're winning. That's a hard thing to hear. America, the greatest, and we are. But they're doing a number on us. And to hear somebody else say that their plan is working on you is a hard pill to swallow. And one of the things that really stuck out to me, another thing that I didn't know and I never thought to research it. I'm mad at myself for this. I fell for it. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I drank the Kool-Aid. I was fooled. But no more. Martin Luther King was a socialist. Socialism is just around the corner from communism. Martin Luther King was a socialist turd. But all we get is the I have a dream. That's why I picked him as my thumbnail, and that's why I named this live I Have a Lie, because that's what he has. He doesn't have a dream to sell you. He has a lie to sell you. And we bought it hook, line, and damn sinker. Because all you ever hear of, what do they always play? The I Have a Dream speech. Little black boys and little white girls and the content of your character, not the color of your skin. That's all we know. And we believe it. We don't go any further. We don't research anything past that. And I'm guilty of it myself. There's a clip that they play in the movie where this woman comes up on stage with Martin Luther King. Again, they got proof. They got receipts. These aren't opinions. This isn't conjecture. This isn't what we think happened or what we hoped. Video. or footage, whatever it was called back then. And this woman is up on stage, a black woman, and she's talking about, I got 6 kids and my husband don't make enough money and I can't get a job and one of my sons dropped out of school and I can't get him to go back to school because I can't afford the uniform and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I've heard that somewhere. There was a woman in Minnesota. Minnesota, eh? Bummer. Oh, bummer. And she has 15 kids. And at the time, she was pregnant with her 16th. And she's sitting somewhere in her house that's way too small, as she explains. All 15 kids around her. I thought that she was a teacher and this was a class photo. All 15 of her kids around her. And she said, somebody's got to come do something about these kids. Somebody's got to come help me. Like she was laying down sleep one night and woke up with 15 kids in her house she didn't know. Like it was somebody else's fault that she laid down and let some dude go 15 times. Like it was somebody else's fault. She said, somebody has to come help me with these kids. And you know what the state of Minnesota did? They bought that wench. Instead of holding her down and giving her a hysterectomy, they gave her a 6-bedroom house with bunk beds in every room for her and her about to be 16 children. Whenever the government gets involved, it gets worse. So this woman is up there standing next to Martin Luther King, talking about, we need help. Somebody's got to come help me. Hey, lady, talk to your husband, get your ass a job, and stop getting pregnant. But it's somebody else's fault. I posted a video last week on my Instagram from Chicago talking about freeway shootings up 200%, homicides up 300%. And they got some jackass up there talking about, well, since COVID and COVID and COVID, and since the COVID. So it's the sweet and sour sniffles' fault, not yours. It's not yours. It's something else. It's somebody else. It's an entity. We don't know what that entity is. We've never seen it, but it's somebody else. And then they showed a clip of Martin Luther King saying how the government needs to spend billions. Who does that sound like? The government needs to spend billions and there needs to be a redistribution of wealth. When you hear that, know that it's coming from the lips of a communist. Redistribution of wealth. You know what that means? That means you get your ass up, you work hard, you create something. I stay at home, I sleep until noon, I don't do shit, and you got to give me some of yours because I need to be up there with you. But you didn't work like I did. You weren't up before the sun like I was. You didn't have pain in your hands and in your back and be away from your family like I was to create what I have. I know, but redistribution of wealth, move over. That's some socialist communist shit. That's what Martin Luther King was, but they only tell us one prosciutto thin slice of what he was. He wasn't this great black civil rights leader. He was not. He was a socialist used to fuck us over, used to further that Marxist agenda. And I believe that shit. I've said it on videos. It's about the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Now, that's true. But that's only a teeny tiny part of what Martin Luther King was about. I was talking with Larry Elder. He said there was a study at Boston University that showed that Martin Luther King plagiarized his work. He plagiarized the most famous thing we know him for. He plagiarized his final to get his doctorate, to become Dr. Martin Luther King. But they didn't want it. They couldn't. Not that they didn't want to. They couldn't have him. They couldn't have the truth known about him because that would tear him down as a civil rights icon. So they buried it. And now you got MLK. Look at where a street is called MLK, Martin Luther King Boulevard. Chris Rock talked about this in a comedy special in back in the 90s. Everywhere there's MLK, there's some violence happening. You think there's a Martin Luther King Boulevard in Beverly Hills or the Upper West Side or wherever rich people live in New York? Wherever you are right now, think of the hoity-toity rich part. Go there and see if you can find a Martin Luther King street, boulevard, court, place, avenue, way, alley, anything. Hell no. Because that's not where he was needed. He was needed in the poor areas to keep people in that position. They talked about at length about Booker T. Washington. Everybody needs to know about him. But years ago, he talked about the fact that there are people in the Negro race who benefit from there always being some strife, some upheaval, a problem, a grievance. We can't just be successful and be happy and be quiet like everybody else. There's always got to be some shit going on. There's always got to be a problem. Fellas, you ever date a woman like that where there's always some drama? That shit gets old quick, doesn't it? That shit is terrible. Dan Mendoza says MLK Drive in North Vegas is terrible. Adam Price, MLK is where you go to get crack. Somebody must start calling and realize I was still in my life. Where is that? What is it down in Georgia? Is it called Buckhead or something like that? Isn't that where all the rich people live? Where's their MLK Boulevard out there? Why don't they rename Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills? Rename it MLK Boulevard. No, he's not useful there. That kind of shit is not useful there. That's not going to work on them. Civil rights leader, why? Who elected these people to be our leaders? And what other group of people do you hear that have leaders that need to have some representative, some liaison for them? We already have those. They're called senators, congressmen, mayors, shit like that. We have liaisons. Why can't we have the same ones that everybody else has? No, we need to have civil rights leaders. I got civil rights. I dare you to try to take them from me. But there's money in keeping people downtrodden. There's power in that shit. If you ain't about shit and you ain't going to do shit and you're not going to go create shit, doesn't it fit you that you would have some entity that gives you everything, like an EBT card? You guys, let's go back in time a little bit, not too far. I know you guys got stuff to do. I don't want to take too much of your time. But remember 30 years ago when we actually had food stamps? It was an actual book of stamps. And your ass would be embarrassed to bust them out in front of everybody else paying with cash or a credit card. Not anymore. Now it's a card. Now you don't have to go anywhere to get your shit. It's just electronically uploaded. Make it easy for you. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. I'll upload that shit right now. They had some clips in there, and I'm not even giving you that much of it. There's so much in this documentary. But they had footage of black women who went down to the welfare office because their EBT cards hadn't been reloaded. This one bitch sat there and said with a straight face that my baby hasn't eaten since this morning. I'm sorry, miss. Hand me your baby. Hand me your baby. Look that way. I want somebody to come up behind her with chloroform on a rag, put it over her face, knock her out, give her a hysterectomy while she's asleep. Because you don't need to be making any more damn babies because you're so dependent on the government that you don't feed your baby unless the government gives you the means. What kind of person are you? What kind of parent are you that your baby goes without until somebody else provides it for you. My dad used to call that, he used to say, you don't got no get up and go about you. You need some get up and go. You don't wait around for people. Your baby's hungry? Your sorry ass is standing up here complaining and your baby's hungry? You suck. You failed. I wish I had a big red rubber stamp to just put on your head, F. You failed. I'm not waiting on the government to provide shit for my family. But somehow you're some kind of sellout. You're some kind of bootlicking Uncle Tom. And people are so stupid. Uncle Tom was the hero. He sacrificed himself for the other slaves. He was a hero. So thank you for calling me that. You might as well call me Superman. The old Superman, not the new one whose son is kissing boys. Not that Superman. The George Reeves Superman. You're calling somebody a hero when you call him that, you jackass. Awesome film. Everybody needs to watch it. You will learn something. Martin Luther King was a detriment to Black people. He didn't help us in any way. Black folks were doing fine. They had jobs in communities and tight-knit families, big families. There wasn't a 50-50 chance that a Black child would get aborted or be born back then. They were born. They had big-ass families back then. Every Sunday, I remember growing up, every Sunday, we used to do this shit even when my wife and I got together. Every Sunday, we would meet up at her parents' house for dinner. We need to start doing that. I really need to start doing that. That gave you something to, not only did it give you something to look forward to, but it was a chance for the family to get together. Her brother would come over with his wife and their kids, or kid at the time. The other one wasn't born. We'd come over with our kid. We'd bring our laundry to our mom's house because at the time, we had gotten our first apartment together and they had the laundry room. And instead of paying all them damn quarters, we washed our laundry at our mom's house. And after dinner, we'd have a big dinner. Everybody bring something, drinks, dessert, something. We'd have a big dinner, and then everybody would go in the living room and watch TV. We'd watch Planet Earth, that documentary, when it first came out. That was the shit. And we watched I Survived. Two completely different TV programs. But that's what we watched. That was our time together. And when you leave, everybody gives hugs, goodbye, see you next time. It was a great experience, but it's something that they touched on in this film. Every Sunday, families got together because family is important. Family is the foundation for everything. It's the source of our success. If the family breaks down, we break down. Broken homes give us broken people. And when people say, you got to fix the family, it's not that simple. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You fix the family, you fix everything else because everyone's problems stem from their family. That's who shapes who you are. That's what makes you who you are, is your family. Man, I'm watching that shit again. When I get it back from my neighbor, I'm going to watch it, and then I'll give it to my mom. Some parts I was just like, and when they show what our culture is now, it's disgusting. There were no retarded bees back then. There was no Lizzo who was being celebrated for being 400 pounds. What did Ari Spears call her? She looked like a plate of mashed potatoes. He said she looks like the shit emoji. Yes, queen, body positivity. Yes, you can be positive that your ass is going to be in the grave early. When did we start celebrating death? When did we start championing and highlighting and promoting death? Our own death, not the death of somebody else, our own. Every rap album should be titled, Kill Me. Kill us. Might as well kill us, kill me, kill us. Kill, murder. When did that shit happen? When the civil rights movement came in and they broke down the family. And another reason that this shit is important to everybody, because this breakdown of the black family creates the people that are fucking this country up right now. Creates the people who are smashing and grabbing. Summer of 2020, BLM. We're talking about those sorry bitches too. Those 3 black angry lesbians who started BLM and the fucker who trained them. They admit I have Marxist training. And they talk about who Karl Marx is and what he wanted to do. Destroy religion and the family. You're all oppressed. That's the udder that they suckled from. So of course that's who they are. Of course that's what they want to do. The government needs to do this and the government needs to do that. The government needs to fuck off. The government needs to go home. Everything the government needs to do should fit on a Post-it. Stay out of marriage, stay out of family, stay out of business. Keep the roads going, make sure 911 picks up when I call, and make sure the schools are taken care of. As far as the building, not what's taught inside. No. You don't get to do that. You guys fuck everything up. You guys are the reason they're taking children to gay bars to watch some dude shake his dick in front of a kid's face with pants so tight you can tell whether he's circumcised or not from across the room. That's what happened when the government gets involved and tries to nudge the parents out of the way. You don't know shit about my kids. Look at your kids. Look at the government's kids. And you're going to tell me about mine? Hunter Biden is 50% crack. And you're going to tell me what to do with my kids? Joe Biden sniffs children's hair. You're going to tell me what to do with my kids? Joe Biden's daughter said in her diary that she was molested and she used to take showers with her father and it was inappropriate. And you are going to tell me about my kids? You stay away from my kids. You're a disgusting pervert and you're poisonous. Get the fuck away from my kids and my family. Who are you? Their kids are either fucked up or they don't have any. So how are you going to tell me what to do with mine? You failed or you're not where I'm at. If you don't have kids, don't tell me about my kids and how I'm supposed to raise them. You don't know shit. Like my best friend's dad would say, you don't know shit from Shinola. You don't know whether to wind your ass. What is it? You don't know whether to scratch your watch or wind your ass. If your brains were dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. The fuck are you going to tell me about raising my kids or what to do in my home? Let me see your home. Let me put one of them Alexa smart home cameras in your home and see what happens in there 7 days a week. Probably some sick shit that I got to be 18 or over to look at. Are you kidding me? And they're going to tell us what to do with our families and our communities? These people are full of shit. Look at their communities behind their high walls and private security. Man, please. These people don't know shit. And they're a bunch of perverts and they're weird. They want our kids to be a bunch of little hypochondriacs that are okay with adults touching them. That's what they want. More government. Get out of here with that shit. Anybody who says they want more government, cut them out of your life. Go home, find all the pictures you have with them, and grab some scissors and cut them out of them and never talk to them again because they're stupid. Mike Taylor, thank you very much. Can we get a little flow for this man telling the truth? Hey, Jericho, what's your thoughts on Tommy Sotomayor? I like him. I like Tommy Sotomayor. I used to watch him back in the day. Hilarious. Funny dude, smart, tells the truth. He used to blow holes in all kinds of this pro-black bullshit. Oh, white people do this. White people do that. Wrong. Let me show you some black people doing the same thing. You want equality? Here you go. You got to take equality from all angles, not just the one that benefits you, all angles. And people got mad as shit because he was telling the truth. I like Tommy Sotomayor. He's still around? I remember they got him off of YouTube, and I couldn't really find him after that. Cole, exactly. She says most of the people in government never worked a day in their life. I got calluses on my hands, and your hands are soft as Charmin, and you're going to tell me about work? These people fail up. Look at Gavin Newsom. Gavin, bang your wife Newsom. And if you don't know why, I call him Gavin, bang your wife Newsom, because he banged his best friend's wife. Look it up. He started the destruction of San Francisco. He's now the governor. Now they're trying to get him to the presidency. Do you know what kind of a runny shit sandwich America will be with Gavin Newsom at the helm? Could you imagine? We might not have to, because they're doing everything they can to get that turd in office, talking about his numbers and how he's more popular than Kamala Harris. And that's his girl. She was DA when he was mayor. That's his home girl. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You think she's not going to help him get in there? Come on now. These people suck. But the Loyal Goose says Tommy Sotomayor got a new YouTube page. I'll look him up. He's hilarious. But I like how Uncle Tom 2 really delved into Marxism and communism to let you know the origins of this shit. I can't wait to see what part 3 is going to have. I hope I'm in it. Wouldn't that be something? If they put me in Uncle Tom part 3, I'm going to come in here with big old sunglasses, a fur coat. I'm going to change. I'm just kidding. World Citizen 06 says Tommy is on OnlyFans. I'm sure not in that way. Because he got canceled almost everywhere else. And why? Just like that dude, Andrew Tate. I didn't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with calling your girl a woman bitches and all that. Like your woman. If a woman's acting like a bitch or something, yeah, I'll say that. But I mean, your own woman, I'm not down for that. But what he said was, a lot of what he said was true. 99% of what he said was true. Men need to be of a certain ilk. Certain things are expected of men if you want society to continue and to flourish. You don't want a bunch of weak-ass weenies for men. Ain't shit going to happen. You're going to get taken over. You're going to get taken over by a country that has a bunch of real men in it. And he's gone. They wiped his ass from the internet history books. It's fucked up. Hey, someone. They said it's who you blow. No, it's who you know. Don't be play. And if you're also new to this and you don't know what I mean by play, there was a speech with Bidenus Pervertus, our grandpa in chief, Mr. Hey, this isn't the mall. He literally said, this is a quote. He said, hey, I'm not trying to be play. That's what he said. I don't know if there was a more to that word or that sentence, but he said, I'm not trying to be play. The fuck does play mean, man? You know the thing. You know hey, come on, man. God. Man, I was watching some clip this morning. What is it? Sky News? I think so. I think that's what it's called. The one from Australia. Crikey. Look at the size of that pigger. Eric Schultz, great question. He says, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know, man. I was hoping you guys could tell me. But they had this clip about Biden and how his wife is like guiding him around and tapping him on the shoulder. And what the fuck? Why do we have this octogenarian in there who can't get around on his own? How many times are you going to say, oh, I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not in control. And he's kind of joking, but you're not joking. Your handlers have made it clear that you can't go off the script. You're barely doing it when you're on script. They can't have you going off. And all these clips of her guiding this old fool around. Golly, man. Golly. Just fucking horrible. Heidi Booth, thank you. Imagine Nancy Pelosi's OnlyFans account. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I don't want to. I don't want to imagine that. That is absolutely disgusting. That is the most play comment today. Oof. That would just be. Are you kidding me? Mm-mm. Ugh. That was gross, Heidi. Thanks for that. Calvin Hicks, thank you for the Hamilton. He says, great job, Jericho. Thank you very much. That's what I was shooting for. Maybe she'll have to get an OnlyFans account to pay the restitution for her husband running into that illegal. Like I said last week, I hope he shows up to court in a full body cast. I can't go back to work, Mr. Pelosi. You have to pay me. Nancy's like, shit, I got to go get an OnlyFans account. Oh, the person on OnlyFans will be like, hello, OnlyFans. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, I want to start an OnlyFans account. They're like, Nancy Pelosi? Ugh. I'm sorry. We don't want you to break our internet platform. We cannot let you get an OnlyFans account. No, Heidi. She says some men like them a cougar. That's not a cougar. That, ma'am, is not a cougar. That's like a cougar that they found buried in some kind of tomb in Egypt that's been mummified. Not a regular, not that kind of cougar, not like a hot, middle-aged woman. No, that's something else. That's some kind of like scaled dragon like beast. Disgusting. Talk about breaking the internet. That would definitely break the internet or your screen, either one. Mads, that's gross. Naughty Nancy. Yeah, Scary Harry Flanagan, a dead cougar. Yeah, man, like a fucking decomposed cougar. Oh my goodness. Rome 13 says got to lift her skirt to see her boobs. Now that is extremely disgusting. She can play, what's that, hacky sack with her titties? Oh boy, those things are nasty. Remember when she went to Italy? She had like 75% of her titties out. And that was horrible. That's bad for the environment, not gas-powered cars, her titties. Oof. All right, enough of that, guys. I got food in my stomach. Don't do that. Chris H says, Jericho, you should make fun of the house drinker. That's right, the vodka vixen, man. You drink her spit, you'll get fucked up. That woman stays faded. She's perma-drunk. Mad says, I have no appetite. Me neither, Mads. You started it. Now you know how I feel. Ugh, I got to cancel my lunch plans. My goodness. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. I hope I did that movie justice, giving you my thoughts on it, my review. In a nutshell, it's awesome. It's great. It should be viewed by everybody. I don't know why it's not playing. They need to play Uncle Tom 2 like they do CNN. Just have it on everywhere. Airports, restaurants, whatever. Anywhere there's a TV, they need to be playing that shit. Because that's powerful information for all of us. Don't think that because it's a black cast, that there's a black man on the cover, that myself and other black conservatives went to it. Don't think it's not for everybody, because it is. Because it's about the America that we all share. And we're all affected by our actions. So yeah, everybody needs to see this shit. Powerful. Shout out to my man, Chad O. Jackson. Pleasure meeting you. You better get out of this live stream and go spend time with them 4 kids. Man, that's a big family. That's what we need. Big families. That's why everybody's grandparents came from a family of 9 or 10. Because family used to mean something. But I'm out of here, guys. Got to go hang out with my son. He has a second soccer practice that he told me the other day. He said, Daddy, let's go take his grandma got him a little soccer goal. And he wanted to take it to the park and practice. So, hey, I was out there with him. Yes, it was hot as shit. We're out there doing our thing. He's excited, so I'm going to try to match his excitement, and maybe this will be, he'll fall in love with the sport. I always think about that. Like, what are my kids going to fall in love with? What's going to be their thing? Is it going to be a sport? Is it going to be reading or math or something? What's going to be the thing that they gravitate toward and really hold on to for the rest of their life? I'm excited to see it. But anyway, I got to get going, people. There was a lot of things that I wanted to talk about today, but I needed to dedicate an entire live stream to this movie. It's awesome. And I hope, hey, let's see if I'm in part 3. That'd be awesome. But either way, it was an awesome experience. I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I got to see wonderful people that I already knew, meet a lot of new people, and met some of the greats, hanging out with the greats. I was sharing some good air, people. But we'll get into it tomorrow. You know how I do. Monday through Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Damn Time. If you're not here, you're in the wrong place. Vanetta Pa, is that how you pronounce that? You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. DMW 247 TV, JPET, Heidi, Rome, Mad, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for your comments, your questions, your super chats, just being here. If you're listening to me, watching and listening, whatever, thank you. We'll do this all over again mañana. Now say it with me. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and MyGreenGear.com. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.